Okay, hello everyone. I am Jamie Oglesly, and welcome to our 5th annual Volunteers of America Luncheon. As you can tell, we have had to make a few adjustments, but I am so grateful that we can all embrace this unique situation, technology and all, and like our theme, together we will get through this. Today, you will hear from Clark County Health Officer Dr. Eric Yazel, Volunteers of America President and CEO Jennifer Hancock, Freedom House graduate Amy Calbre, and District Manager of First Savings Bank, Brooke Schaeffer. At the end of the program, I will announce the winner of our Beaded Treasures necklace in the chat box, so stay tuned for that at 12:30. I want to give a major thank you to our sponsors, ADP, Centra Credit Union, Keitlinger Gray, and so many others that you can see listed below. We also have a special surprise sponsor that we cannot wait to announce later on in this program. We appreciate your investment and your willingness to support us on this very wild ride. So thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Now, I am so excited to turn this program over to an incredible human and leader in Clark County. Many of you know him for his daily dose of calm on Facebook, and I am so grateful to call him a dear friend. Please welcome the man with literally a million jobs, including ER doctor at Clark Memorial Hospital and our Clark County Health Officer, Dr. Eric Yazel.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to VOA Virtual Luncheon. So excited to be here and just kind of wanted to share a brief message with everyone. You know, as a frontline ER worker, we watched COVID-19 gradually spread its way into our area. You know, the emotions were high. There was a lot of fear of the unknown. There's pressure knowing the entire community was counting on us. And then it hit, and we started seeing friends, loved ones, coworkers starting to get sick. As you drove into every shift, you wondered if that was the day it was going to be your turn to come down with it. I still remember the details of the first COVID patient that I put on the ventilator. He knew the deal, and as I was making preparations, he looked up at me and said, "I'm not coming off this machine, am I?" I had to look him in the eye and tell the truth, and that conversation ended up being the last words that he spoke. Were there times that I wanted to quit, to give in to the pressure and the fear? Sure there were. But as an ER doctor, this is our time, and this is what we trained for, and it was time to stand and be counted. The entire community was depending on us. So I faced the challenge, and other frontline workers all across the country did the same thing. We fought day after day, and saw examples of compassion and humanity at its finest. Well, VOA is also answering that call, not just during the pandemic, but all year round. During the COVID outbreak, we kept hearing about the at-risk populations. If there's been a silver lining in all this, it's that it gave all these vulnerable populations a voice. We've seen the community rise up and support these individuals. But at some point, as we move back to more of a sense of normalcy, daily life will intrude, and it'll probably dampen some of that community spirit. That's why our community and the VA services, the VOA and their services are so important. It recognizes those vulnerable and at-risk members of our community, not only in times of crisis, but 24/7, 365. The support they give is invaluable to our population who needs it most. I found out later that the gentleman who spoke his last words to me was a veteran who received VOA services, housing support, and other wraparound services. Because of my experience with VOA and all the services that they provide, it gave me comfort during my time of sorrow to know that he had been treated with empathy and respect during his final days. We have used the word heroes a lot during the COVID pandemic. To me, the definition of a hero is someone who forges ahead during uncertainty to help those who need it most. What better way is there to describe VOA team members who provide these essential services to our most vulnerable people? Thank you all for what you do.
Well, Dr. Yazel, thank you so much. Your words today and frankly, so many days have made such a difference for all of us. We've never needed a daily dose of calm more than we do right now. And we are so grateful for your partnership with Volunteers of America and the caring and commitment you've shown to all of us. So thank you. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jennifer Hancock, the President and CEO of Volunteers of America. Thank you for being part of this wonderful experiment today. Our virtual luncheon is proof that nothing can keep us apart. You know, Volunteers of America was founded almost 125 years ago. And I've spent more than a decade of my life serving Volunteers of America. I actually started my career on the front lines too, working in residential programs and serving people one-on-one. And this crisis has made me think about what we do a little differently. It's really this simple. Volunteers of America knows it's hard to be alone. And we build new lives for families and individuals by forming a community of support around them. We say, we're here for you and we'll stand by your side. We stand for veterans who feel left behind, moms struggling with addiction who need a safe place to restart their lives, individuals with disabilities who crave companionship and purpose. Yes, we're results-oriented and we utilize best practices, but so much of what we do is simply proving to people in need, we are here for you. So imagine our challenge in this time of isolation and distancing. It is tough. And I'll be candid, we really need you now more than ever. We need you to be part of our community of support. We couldn't wait until the fall to bring all of you together and tell you about our challenges and to thank you for your support. We had to do it now. Volunteers of America has never faced a test quite like the one presented with COVID-19. It affects our bottom line. Our costs are going up while our revenues are going down. We're paying more for cleaning and supply costs and PPE. Our overtime has increased as we ensure that everyone working with our clients is healthy. But we will not waver from our commitment to serve our region's most vulnerable without interruption in service or quality of care. And I have never been so proud of our frontline heroes who are providing those essential services. I'm talking about heroes like Christina Johnson. Christina is a nurse who helps us keep more than 30 people with disabilities across 11 homes in Southern Indiana safe. She trains our frontline workers, and she does her work even though she knows it's dangerous, because she knows our clients are depending on her more than ever before. And because of leaders like Christina and your help, we'll make it through. And not just make it through, we have some exciting plans for doing even more in our community. Many of you know about Freedom House, our nationally recognized program for pregnant and parenting women overcoming substance use disorder. We are absolutely committed to bringing Freedom House to this region. And in just a bit, I'm going to share more about the timing and how we can achieve that goal together. And of course, we're continuing our current work. We're caring for veterans and individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Our job is to grow opportunities and build connections for our clients. We keep our clients safe and healthy, but so much more. Our care nourishes the heart and soul. We help individuals like Alan Waltz find meaningful employment at the Louisville Slugger Factory and Museum, and that's just part of our work. We help Alan and others like him live every aspect of their daily lives to the fullest. They thrive on opportunity and compassion. But imagine their lives today. The routine they thrive on has changed. They aren't working at their jobs. It was sudden, and it still may be confusing. Today, we're asking you to help our frontline heroes, our VOA team, help our Indiana friends and family like Alan get through this difficult time. With all of us working together, we can do it. Today, we all know it's true. It's hard to be alone, but with your help, even now, we'll never stop being a community of support. So now I want to introduce you to one of my personal heroes, my friend, Amy Calbre. When you hear Amy's story, I encourage you to picture what Freedom House can do for women in Southern Indiana who are ready for a new beginning. Please welcome Amy Calbre.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much, Jennifer. And thank you, Dr. Yazel, for your commitment and your dedication. I am probably well acquainted with some of you, but for those of you that I don't know, my name is Amy Calbre, and I am a 2011 Freedom House graduate. Freedom House gave me everything I needed to be successful, but my road to Freedom House was very long. I started very early with substance abuse and alcoholism. I come from a family with a long background of that, and so I grew up and I thought that was normal, and I found quickly around age 11 that by using and drinking, I could feel like I was solving my problems, and I did not know that it was not rational. I very quickly entered the juvenile justice system. By the age of 14, I already had 2 felonies. I'd already been in juvenile detention, and I was getting expelled from several schools. And I continued that pattern into adulthood, unfortunately, and became, well, my addiction progressed is really what I'm saying. And I began to use drugs intravenously. I'm from Virginia originally, so I came here from Richmond, Virginia, and over those years there, I tried everywhere. Some places I was mandated to. I tried jail-based recovery systems. I was in halfway houses, countless rehabilitation centers, and countless detoxes, and I just could not figure out what was wrong with me and why I couldn't stop using and doing this, especially in light of the fact that I had a child around age 20, and I couldn't stop for her. And I ended up losing custody of that child at the time. When I came here, it was because I'd heard that Kentucky had a lot of resources, and my mother brought me to the doors of a treatment center here in Louisville, and basically left me here in the hopes that something would change for me. And the first place that I went to was not Volunteers of America. It was another program, and I'm not speaking badly on that program, but it didn't work out for me. It reminded me more of an institution. It was, a couple hundred women that I was there with, and there was no individual treatment, and I still had so much to work through, and I still couldn't figure out what was going on. Why couldn't I just be normal? And what happened was I met a man who was also in another program, and I became pregnant, and we started using, and we ended up living in a place with no electricity and no water. And at the end of that pregnancy, the day I went into labor in that place, I couldn't even go to the hospital. I would say 7 or 8 hours, because I needed to get high one more time. I couldn't imagine going in withdrawal, and that was one of the worst days of my life. I went into a detox shortly after that because, of course, they noticed that my child was sick, and he was in the NICU for 7 weeks, and he went to a foster family. And I went to detox thinking I don't know what I was going to do, if I was going to see either one of my children again, but I knew that I was tired and that I had to do something different. And like divine intervention, a woman came into that detox, and she told me about Volunteers of America Freedom House, because I was in a place where if I was getting sober, they were going to allow me to see that son. But the place where I was detoxing, you couldn't see your kids for 8 or 9 months at least. So I was wondering, how was I going to do that? And turns out that Volunteers of America Freedom House lets you live with your children there, or at least will work with Child Protective Services. And I could see them as often as I needed. And that's what happened. I couldn't believe it, but they had a bed for me. And so I entered that program not knowing what to expect and not being able to trust myself, but found the most compassionate staff. And I had a counselor who worked with me every week, someone educated and skilled in this field, and who could help me pull apart all of those pieces, deal with trauma and stress and just the very subject of addiction, and help me understand the changes in my brain and what had happened, what was wrong with me. And on top of that, they also just taught me how to be a normal person, where I had to get up every day and do chores. I had so many classes, 40 hours of programming a week to for parenting. We're talking life skills, financial literacy. Then they, like I said, worked with Child Protective Services, and I got to see my son, and I couldn't believe it. And by the time that I was getting through there and I was getting close to graduation, I had my son 5 days a week, and he was spending the night, and I decided to enroll in college. About a year before that, while I was pregnant and I was working with another center that was not Volunteers of America, I mentioned that I wanted to go back to school, you know, and get sober and go back to school. And that person, that professional in this field, told me not to go back to school. They said that I would get school money and I would probably relapse and it wouldn't work. But Volunteers of America, they encouraged me to go back to school. They basically told me that I could do anything. And just because I had the past that I had doesn't mean that I couldn't go forward. And they had one computer in the facility that I lived in, which was more like a home. It didn't feel like an institution at all. And they made a deal with me that I could stay up as late as I needed to and do my schoolwork as long as I still did my chores, made my programming, and stuck to my program. And that's what I did. So I worked for a long time on that reunification. And when I left there and I got my own apartment for the first time, Volunteers of America stayed with us. We got our family back because the man that I had that child with is in that photo there, that's Chad. He got his 2 older boys back. I got my child, Virginia, back after a lot of hard work, and Volunteers of America supported us the whole time. And today, Chad works for Volunteers of America. I just completed my master's practicum in their addiction recovery services program. And with their support, they helped us even in buying our first house. So I can't thank you all enough for everything that you've done.
You know, Amy, as many times as I've heard you share your story, I never fail to hear something new and inspiring. And I just can't thank you enough for sharing a bit of your story. And, you know, you've just had this extraordinary milestone. You just graduated from the University of Louisville with a master's degree in social work.
Yeah.
So just say a little bit more about what that means in terms of the trajectory of your life now and for your family to have a master's degree in this field with us as our colleague.
It's amazing. I mean, when I sit here now and I think about having been at a time in my life when I never thought anything like that would happen. And I just think about how we can't do this alone. You all talk all the time about answering the call, and you did that. You all did that for me and for so many others. My very best friend today has helped me through school, and she is in school now. And she also came through this program, and our life is so different, and school is just, it's one of the huge bonuses. It's one of those things that I just can't believe, but
that's awesome. I love it. Well, we love having you and Chad as part of our Volunteers of America family for life. And so I think many of you are aware that we've been planning to open a Freedom House in partnership with Family Arc, which is a wonderful provider of child and family services in Jeffersonville. And I recently spoke with Family Arc CEO Janine Jacobs about the fact that the current funding trajectory is so focused on this pandemic right now that unfortunately, as a result, our Freedom House project has been postponed to 2021. And while we completely understand this decision, we also know that the drug epidemic is accelerating right before our eyes. In fact, let me share this sobering statistic with you. Just last month, Clark County had more overdoses than in any month since February of 2017. And it was the 4th highest of all time. Think about that. And that is why we are even more committed than ever to our partnership with Family Arc. We know we absolutely must bring these services to our community. And so, Amy, nobody knows better than you how critical it is to having access to quality treatment. Yeah. What are your thoughts about what it means to have this project postponed?
It makes me fearful. I mean, it honestly breaks my heart a little because I know what I got and I know what I needed in order to make it. And you're talking about a population that already has a small window, and now they're already at risk. And now there's another risk on top of that. And wherever Volunteers of America, wherever the Freedom House can be, the more people will know that you all are here for them. And there's not many programs like you. And one thing I forgot to mention was that, for 6 years, I have worked in the community at a permanent supportive housing program now, and we serve a different population, but we get calls all the time from pregnant women. And even though we can't serve them, I try to direct them to you all, but they call from all over, and your services, fortunately and unfortunately, this is needed everywhere and anywhere, especially in Clark and Floyd counties right now.
I hear you. Well, thank you. We are going to forge ahead and trust that with the support of the community, we can bring this project to reality. So thank you. And I want to introduce you to one more person today, you all, and it's our good friend, Brooke Schaeffer, the district manager of First Savings Bank. Brooke is well known to so many people in our community. She's a dynamo and a leader and a wonderful friend to Volunteers of America. Her team at First Savings Bank is led by a truly great corporate citizen and Larry Myers. And she also works side by side with one of our closest supporters, Jessica Matlock. So Brooke, I'm turning it over to you. Thank you so much for your friendship and your support.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. What an intro. And Amy, I applaud you. The amount of courage that you showed, when you had to pick up that phone to call VOA and ask for help. Your story has touched me, and I have no doubt it has touched someone else today. The reason I'm here with you, it's simple. I want more women and families here in Southern Indiana to have that same opportunity that Amy had. And I bet many of you were like me, and you can think of someone right now who could use the help that Amy or Alan received. But VOA doesn't only serve people with disabilities or aid in addiction recovery. They also serve our veterans. My connection to VOA came a few years ago at this luncheon when I heard a story of an Army veteran, Jason Brown. He walked a similar path to Amy when he returned from serving our country. He struggled with post-traumatic stress and addiction. Promised I wasn't going to do this today. And then he found help through VOA. And as I listened to that story, I thought of that someone who may need VOA's help. And I said, I have to be a part of this organization. You see, my son's in the Army, and he has been for the past 4 years, and he has recently re-enlisted. He loves serving our country, and I could not be more proud of him. And my hope is that when he returns to civilian life, that his transition will be wonderful and he'll never need any extra help. But of course, I don't know what the future holds for him. So when I heard Jason's story, I was filled with gratitude that VOA serves veterans in need. As an Army mom, I can assure you that the men and women that are serving our country sacrifice for us. And we have to be there for them. It's our job to open our wallets today so that VOA can continue to help those 2,000 veteran families each year, just like Jason. I'm asking this of you today on behalf of Alan, Amy, Jason, and my son, and for every VOA team member doing heroic work. Helping a family in need is just a click away. In a few moments, you're going to receive a link via text, email, or you'll be able to find it in our chat box. But first, I get to make an exciting announcement. Now I can dry up the tears. Now let's get excited. We know that this is a tough time for everyone, and many of you have seen their financial realities change, but I know that you can find room in your budget for us. Because today, every dollar you give is going to be doubled. Think about that. Your $50 gift is going to be $100 to VOA. Your $1,000 is $2,000. This is a game changer. This match gift of up to $10,000 is coming from one of the most community supportive organizations here in Southern Indiana, and I am proud to say that I work for them, First Savings Bank. I am honored that our CEO, Larry Myers, believes in the work that VOA does, that he and First Savings Bank are opening up their wallet. Let's maximize this challenge match gift. And now, more than ever, we need long-term, committed donors. And here's how you can do that. The Positive Change Society is made up of our friends who have committed $1,000 a year for at least 5 years, which is about $83 a month. It means we can build for our future, like opening the doors to the Freedom House in Jeff, and still sustain our programs that impact the Jasons and the Allens out there. Consider becoming a Positive Change Society donor. But you can make a one-time donation or make a monthly commitment at any level. Today, you can change a life. Now, reach for your credit card or your debit card, because the link is coming your way. Think about Amy, Alan, Jason, and my son as you select your donation level. And even though we can't be together today, let's be united. Together, we will support Southern Indiana families in need. I'm going to give everyone a minute to click on that link and make your donation just like I am. But come back to find out that winner of the Beaded Treasures necklace. I want to thank everyone for being with us today. Jamie, Jennifer, Amy, and Dr. Yazel. This has been an absolutely honor to be with you all today and to be able to announce this gift from First Savings Bank. I'm pleased to now turn the program back over to Jennifer.
Wow, Brooke, thank you so much. And thank you everyone, to Jamie, Dr. Yazel, Amy, and Larry Myers, and the incredible matching gift from First Savings Bank. Can you believe this? It is absolutely amazing. And thank you to all of you for joining us and supporting us today. You know, the words of Helen Keller have inspired me through this journey. She said, "Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much." It's true. Together we will. We will get through this and stand by our most vulnerable, because Volunteers of America believes no one should do this alone. So thank you for being part of this historic first virtual event for Volunteers of America. Hopefully we can get back to being in person soon, but this has felt great to have you be a part of this. and we simply cannot thank you enough. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thank you.